Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Get Crystallized Show. I'm your host, Coach Crystal, and like Crystal's, strong women are made under pressure. And as you can see today, I have a really stunning guest who I'm super excited to introduce you. Juljana is a business and a lifestyle coach. She is the founder of the Style Makers Academy, which is an 8-week coaching program that teaches women how to build confidence and define their personal style and how they want to show up in the world. So, thank you for being here today. We have a really juicy topic that my audience has really been feeling the weight under. And what I mean by that, it's been 2 years since this pandemic, and the uncertainty of are my children going to be going to school, or am I doing online schooling? Is my career on the line? And all just the political pressures and whatnot. I'm hearing that a lot of my audience, they've either lost themselves over the pandemic, or rather, this has been a struggle for quite some time, where they have always put their family first, always put their marriage first. They are super successful in their careers, which means they give 110% in their jobs. But the end result of that is they've lost themselves. They are tired. They are perhaps have gained weight. And they've come to the realization, wait a minute, my kids are a little bit more independent, or maybe they're out of the house and have gone off to university and whatnot. Maybe it's about time I put myself first. But there's this interesting battle of guilt and where do I even begin? So I would love, for you to share your input. You work with women, and before they are able to get into your world of, it's time to build that self-confidence and personal style. If we're at the very beginning of their journey and they're feeling lost, how would you help that woman put themselves first?
I want to start this by thanking you for having me today. And I love this topic because I'm a woman myself, and I'm a mom of two kids, a boy. He is a teenager, 14 years old, and a little girl, she's 10, right? And in the times of COVID, when COVID hit, we just moved from Germany to US to New York. And can you imagine, they had to do homeschooling, their English wasn't so strong, and it was like, oh my gosh, where do I start? And I have been there in these situations when you have to put others first, your family, friends, colleagues, and then let yourself, at the end of the list. And I often do share posts in my social media profiles when I say, like, yourself must be on the top of your to-do list, because it matters so much. You can't give from a poor glass, right? You have to have that energy yourself. You have to be mentally strong yourself in order to help others as well. So it's a very, and I teach women about this, finding their personal style and defining their personal style, how important it is. And style, it's not only just about clothing, but for me, it's more connected to self-care and how much you care of yourself. And this is something that not only just to make you feel good about yourself, but it is something that really adds to anything that you do in life and in business and in your careers. It's You will feel better. And it's not, there are a lot of I hear a lot of women, and one of limiting beliefs that it's so big, in everything, but I don't have time to take care of myself. And I laugh and I say, okay, it's a good excuse. You might not have time, but you know what? We all have 24 hours in a day. The women that put themselves first and take care of themselves have the same amount, and maybe they have more things to do than you do, and they manage to do that. Because you know what? When you have structure in your life and in your day, you save so much time. But the question is, are you willing to put yourself first? And are you willing to take care of yourself before anything else?
Yeah, you made a great point. A couple of things that I want to point out is number one, again, as women, we have the tendency to put everyone else in front of us, even at the expense of us feeling super exhausted, and we're serving with an empty cup. So, I question then, well, wait a minute, does your family, your colleagues, your employees, your spouse even, do they deserve like your leftovers? Because that's what they're receiving when you're not putting yourself first, taking care of yourself mentally, physically. And I have to say, when I put on a certain outfit and I go out, there is this level of self confidence that comes with me when I enter into the world. Now I know things are slowly opening up now, and so most of us have been given that opportunity, or maybe are being forced to work from home. So pre-COVID, you would get dressed to go to work, and now unless you have a Zoom calls, you're maybe dressed properly from the waist up, but are maybe wearing jogging pants or pajamas on the waist down. So how for someone who again has maybe lost their identity, and COVID has just taken this pandemic has taken such a toll on them, like where would you suggest that they start to find themselves again?
So this is very. I love that you bring that up. That because of COVID, people used to go to the office, and so they were forced to put, some nice clothes on. Because we all want to be seen, but we want to be seen as our best selves, right? On the days that you don't feel so good, and that you are not so really dressed up and nice, you don't want to talk to anyone. You want to be invisible. But on the days that you are really fully glammed up and you feel very confident in your outfit, it's like you want to talk to everyone. But then with the COVID, what happened, a lot of people started to let themselves down. There was a lot of uncertainty and a lot of going on, and then the only thing that they would care was themselves and to dress up. But this is something subconsciously in our mind as well, that when and a lot of people have built it online businesses, and before the COVID as well. So it is the same. I work from home, and I do my routine the same as I would go to the office, because I'm telling my brain and my subconscious that I mean business, that what I'm doing, because when you are in suit pants and in dressed very, very casual and at home, you are in that state of mind where you don't feel really, and you will not going to feel very productive. But if you take care of yourself and put something nice on, and I'm not saying like having a cocktail dress or a suit or something, but at least something nice, and putting some jewelry, a little bit of lipstick, taking care of yourself, it's like it makes all the differences. So even in this case, it's no excuse, because if you start to let these things behind, and then you will see that the gap, it will go wider. It starts here, and then things starts to happen, and then another thing will not care much for you, and another thing will not care much, and so you find yourself lost, and then you scroll through social media and see all of these people shining and glowing, and then you see yourself, and this makes things worse. That you have the power, and you have to set some standards from yourself, and you have to know what these standards are, and to live by these standards. If you are saying that, okay, this is the way, you have to define first the way how you want to show up, the way, like what kind of mom do you want to be, what kind of wife do you want to be, a sister, a daughter, whatever. You define that person, and you make your boundaries, and you will see that in the beginning it might feel a little bit harder to set boundaries, but in long terms it is going to help you so much, because you have to understand that the most important person and the most important relationship that you have is with yourself, with nobody else. Even if you're kids, like we're saying, a lot of people are in that stage where kids are growing up and they are going after their dreams, and then you are sitting home and thinking, okay, but where did my life go? What should I do now?
100%. I love this very simple but effective tip that you just shared, which is still have the same structure you did in terms of getting ready for work pre-COVID when you had to go to the office. Still do the same, even though you're going to your home office, because you're absolutely right. I feel like when you, even if it's just a dress shirt and dress pants, you carry yourself differently than, wearing sweatpants or PJs. And, let's be honest, like I'm in the health and wellness and weight loss field. It's when you are living in sweatpants, you don't notice the weight gain, as opposed to putting on those dress pants every day. And it really makes a big difference when you live in stretchy clothing, as opposed to wearing the clothes that you used to wear going to the office. It makes a huge difference in how you carry yourself, in even noticing, wait a minute, I'm putting on some inches in areas that I shouldn't be. And I love the fact that you also mentioned a standard.
Mm-hmm.
It was I think a little bit easier to carry that standard when you had to step out into the public, right? And but having that same standard, that same mindset now is so important.
Exactly. It is very, this is what I teach a lot to my clients as well, because we all dress up and beautifully when we go into the public and meet others and have something important. But the most stylish person, the ones are when you dress up for yourself. And here is the shift, because your self perception matters most. The way that you see yourself matters most that how others are seeing you. You are sending a signal to your brain that you are serious about everything that you do, right? So it's very, very important. And it's true with the gain loss. I see that I start my day like first thing in the morning that I do, I go right to the gym. It's like it's and in the beginning when I started this doing this in the beginning, it felt like very hard, and you are like with the energy, oh, I should go to the gym. But then I said, okay, let's play a mental game, because I have to find that motivation, right? And since I've defined myself and the person that who I want to be, and the next level always requires a different person that we are now, right? And if anyone is aiming for that, what I'm sure everyone that is listening does, you have to set the standards. And this woman that I want to become, she goes to the gym every day. She eats healthy, right? She puts herself first. She knows where she is going. And every time that I don't feel like doing that, because let's be honest, it's not fun going to the gym, right? Then I think like, but wait a minute, then I don't have to complain about the work that I'm not doing, right? And this immediately makes me feel bad. But when I go, then I'm so grateful that I went there, and I feel much more better. I have so much energy because we release energy, right? And I can give more to others. And then again, let's go back to the 24 hours that I have no time. I'm a mom too. I have to get my kids ready for the school, but I wake up earlier. I go to the gym and I come home, I get showered and dressed, and then my kids wake up. And so then I start the day.
I love it. You basically shared another wonderful tip is, okay, it might require some sacrifice, that getting your workout in or going to the gym before the kids get up, before, having to deal with their schedule, you carved out some me time.
Exactly.
And what I loved especially is that you said, we're all striving to be this healthiest, beautiful, fittest, strongest version of ourselves. And I love that you question, well, what would she do? How does she live? How does she react? And on those days where, you don't feel like it, that's a great question to ask. Well, would the best version of me think this way?
Exactly.
No, the best version of me would say, you know what? Let's get to the gym because you're going to feel amazing and full of energy afterwards. That's what you would say. Like,
Exactly.
stop with the excuses and go. So I really identify with that because that's one of the things that we also teach with our students is that identity. What does she look like? What does she sound like? How does she live her life? How does she eat? How does she react with certain situations? So speaking to yourself in that kind of point of view, when you are confronted with those self-sabotaging thoughts of I don't feel like it, that question of, well, what would she do is a great, great question. That's really, really
Exactly.
good.
Exactly. And you know what? It is not only benefiting me, but one night, because when my kids go to bed, I love spending some time with them there, and they are quiet, and they have a lot of thoughts. And my daughter was saying, like, Mom, you know what? I'm so proud that I have a mom like you. You go to the gym, you help women, you do that, you do. And I was like, oh my God, thank you. Kids are watching, right? And what are we teaching our kids? By taking care of ourselves, they have a role model now, and this is what they know, and this is what they are going for, right?
Yes, I love that. You're absolutely right because they are watching your, and they're going to emulate the habits that you do because to them, especially when you start taking care of yourself and exercising regularly while they're still young, they're just automatically thinking, no, this is how you're supposed to live. This is normal, right? And you're showing them that there's a balance in, putting yourself first so that you can serve others with a full cup. You're showing them that I treat my body with respect because I choose healthy foods. You show them I am getting a lot of energy and I am going to be a great mom with full of energy because I take the time to go to the gym. Because I know that there are some parents interested, when our kids are involved with many activities, hockey, basketball, dance, in a heartbeat, we sacrifice our time for them.
Exactly.
But then when we think about, I know there are some women who think, oh my goodness, like to spend 30 minutes or an hour on me, there's this guilt.
Yes, yes. But it's like, because of the stories that you are telling yourself, why that should feel guilty. And you have to take a moment, and to make this check in with yourself. That's why the process of defining the new identity of the person that you want to become is very important. Actually, when you define that, then setting these standards and taking the actions, it's very easy. And this is a work that I go very deep with my clients, because we think that we know, and we think that we know ourselves, but actually we don't really know so well. And every stage of our lives, it's different. I'm not in my 40s now as I was in my 30s, and thinking as we grow, our tastes change, our style must change, our priorities and everything. So taking that time and saying, okay, I'm here now, and having that understanding that what got you here, it's not going to get you there. You have to up level everything that you do, right? And taking the time, it's like, okay, now I'm here, but how do I want the 6 months to be for me, the next 6 months, the 1 year, 2 years, 3 years? How does that look like for me? And what things am I willing to sacrifice, right? And to make the time and to do the things that I love most. Because sometimes we have low energy, we feel very unhappy, overwhelmed, and stressed because we don't do the things enough. We don't do enough of the things that we love to do. But when you have that structure, it's so easy then to find the time.
I 100% agree with you. I love that a part of your process is again self discovery and
Exactly.
personal
Yeah.
development. Because if we go back to pouring into our kids, pouring into their activities, even pouring into our careers, the things that used to bring us joy and taking care of ourselves, the self care, the healthy lifestyle, it's always like placed on the back burner. And because I hear a lot of women, they come to us and they say, I don't know who I am anymore. I don't know what brings me joy
I
anymore.
I
Right?
exactly, and a lot of I had a call with one of my clients, and as we going through this process of self discovery and how, and then I said like, okay, now how do you want to show up? What do you do want to do in your free time? And she was sharing her things, her notes. And I said like, okay, but what about dating your husband, going out with your husband, right? Oh no, 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 no. Like she never thought about it. Once a week, and I said, at least if you can do that once a week, maybe you can do it once a month. But can you imagine what this is going to do for your relationship?
Yes. Yes, I love that. And I mean, it's so funny because my husband, God love him, God bless him, he's like, honey, every month we're going to have a date night. And I'm like, wow, 13 years later. But it brings me such joy to know that he has gone out of his way and he booked it literally for the next 6 months when our date nights are going to be. And to me, it's like, wow, you're absolutely right. That brings me joy. That and as simple as that, talking to your husband, let's have a date night. Let's put it into the schedule even once a month. What a wonderful place to start, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So what else do I know that you mentioned that you do like a self discovery with your clients. If someone's coming to you, seeking your expertise, and that's where they're at. They've lost the joy in their life. They want to build self confidence. What other tools do you share to help them find themselves again?
So like for me it's very important, having mindset is everything. Actually having your mindset set right, it makes all the difference. It's because we all have grown up with stories, that we will download from our environment, family, friends, school, whatever. And without questioning these things, it's very hard then, to want to do better, because these stories that you are telling yourself is going to keep you stuck. Like for example, I don't have much time, or I'm too old to start now to take care of myself, and it is like there is not written anywhere that there is a certain of time and age when you have to start again. It's like you can start at any age. I have clients that they are 67 years old, 70s, and they have so much energy that a 20-year-old might have, and so many goals and dreams, where they easily can retire and say like, oh wait, I'm done with my life. No, 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 no. The thing is, if you have that desire inside of you and you want to do better, and because you have to have the desire, right? So it's very important then again to define this next level of yourself and your life, where you are and where to start, and then to be willing to put the work into it, because nothing comes from nothing, right? We have to grow ourselves, but this is what decision is very important. You have to make that committed decision and to grow yourself into the goals that you are setting for yourself. If you are saying that, okay, now I'm going to go to the gym, you better do go to the gym, right? And do that to lose some weight, or whatever this looks like for you, whatever you are, you have to start that. And for me, a part of this is like I teach them to express themselves through their personal style and building a personal brand, because a lot of people feel so intimidated about style and clothing, and they say, oh, no, but I'm not in the fashion industry. You don't need to be in fashion industry to be put together and to express yourself through your clothing, right? Because people judge. We make snap decisions about others in seconds without others talking to us, right? People judge, and that's why it's very important to know how to what messages you want to share with the world, and you have that power. Once you define that, it's very easy then.
I love that. I
Mhm.
love it. You're absolutely right. And, a saying that just popped into my head as you were sharing that is, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change, right? And so I really appreciate, setting the standard, having goals and structure, sticking to those goals, understanding like what is that burning desire, actually creating that schedule to achieve it, and not just thinking about it, actually taking
Yeah,
inspired action to do it, and
exactly.
making sure it's in line with that identity that you want to work towards is so good. So if I know that you have this amazing 8-week program, if our audience wanted to learn more, where is the best place to find you?
Yeah, they can follow me in Instagram, and the Instagram handle is Hoxha underscore Juliana, HOXHA underscore JULJANA. And yeah, they can have a look as well in my Style Makers Academy program. I'm sure you will put the link there so they can check it out if they want to learn more.
Amazing. I want to just say thank you so much for all of these pearls of wisdom that you have shared. And I like to wrap up the show with two questions. So the first one is, who is the greatest influence in your life and why?
Oh my God, I have so many influencers actually, but one that I will mention, and something that I want to share, um, is my mentor, Bob Proctor, which he passed away this month actually, and he was like, and he would say, a lot of people will come in these trainings and seminars with him and say like, oh, I have this desire, I want to help so many people. And he will look into the eyes and say like, help yourself first. You have to help yourself first, right? And this says everything. It's like the person that you have to help yourself and put yourself first is yourself. So he has been a very, actually his teachings and everything has changed my life, and I'm living my dream life because I've had that I've been lucky enough, right, to work very closely with him. So but when it comes to uh, I would say style influentials, and this is something that I want to share with the audience as well. You always have to have somebody that you look up to, right? Especially when we feel like we have lost that identity. Where do you start? You have to choose 3 or 5 people that are celebrities or people in your circle, people that you know and that you admire, and you have to write down the personalities and qualities of these people that you admire, because the thing is that if you are able to identify with these qualities, it means that they are inside of you and you just have to bring them out. And you have to have I love, for example, Anna Wintour, the editor of Vogue magazine. Her confidence, her style, her, it's like it's everything. And there are, I can go, Rihanna is another person that I look up to, what she has built, you know So yeah.
So good. What a blessing to work closely with Bob Proctor. And I agree with you, pulling the characteristics of people that you look up to help really identify your future identity or the identity that you want to be living fully. I 100% agree with that and love that. My last question to wrap up is, what is your legacy?
Oh, so I love that. Um, I This is really a great question, and I didn't expect that to ask me. But for me, it's very important to be, to be able to influence by becoming the best of what I can be, to influence others, my family, my kids, and help women to live their best life. And it is something going beyond myself, right? It's something reaching more others, that everything and anything is possible. You just have to believe in yourself, because nobody, and if you have an idea or a dream, nobody is going to believe in it more than you do. Nobody is waking up in the morning and saying, I wonder what Juliana's dream is, and how I can help her with that, right? You have to wake up every day and make it happen for yourself. And me knowing what it means to be a mom, to want to be successful, to have to run a business, to live a healthy life, and the lifestyle that you want, I know what that means. And being able to create that for myself, it's something that I wish for every woman.
Oh, so good. Everything is possible. You just have to believe in yourself. Wow, so beautiful, so beautiful. I want to thank you for spending time with us. I want to have you again, of
Of
course. And
course.
I mean, everything that you shared. Again, those pearls of wisdom I relate to and respect, and such like-mindedness in how we want to empower women. So thank you so much for your time and your beautiful presence, and sharing, again, such amazing practical tips and tools that my audience can apply immediately. And of course, I'll put the link if they want to learn more about you, follow you on IG, learn more about your 8-week program. I will definitely ensure that they get connected with you. So thank you so much for being here.